Okay, welcome everyone to the Baltic American Freedom League's channel. My name is Conrad Mazeika. I'm the Baltic American Freedom League president, and I'm here with Ann Smith, our advisor, and Ivars Bezdechi. Sorry, I'm it's about that time of day. Bezdechi. And we are here to discuss our upcoming live stream this Friday, which is going to be the 35th anniversary of the Baltic Way. So you, the viewers, can actually submit comments and questions. Feel free to tell us where you are and have any questions, and we'd love to answer them the best we can. And if not, then we'll see you Friday. So why are we here discussing August 23rd, 1989? Well, it's a very important date in world history and in Western history, and what we will discuss that in details with some of our special guests. So before we get into that, just want to introduce our organization, which is the Baltic American Freedom League, and we have been around since 1981. And we are made of Baltics and Americans and non-Balts that live in America. And our focus is in the Baltic state space of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. So over the years, we've been educating, the public, Congress, the State Department of what we do as far as educating them on the Baltic states. We are a nonprofit organization. We are nonpartisan. And we are here just to educate the public. And so we're here to be as a resource to everybody on the Baltic American community and also to Congress and the State Department. So over the years, we've done a lot of great tasks and a lot of different events. And we are here to just to educate everybody about the current status of the Baltic states. Let me see here. But thank you all for watching it. And if you're rewatching it, thank you as well. This is our very first live stream to the public, and we're open to all sorts of questions and anything else that you would want us to tell the public or what we can work on. So August 23rd is a very important date to any Baltic person around the world. It's also important to European history. And what occurred is on August 23rd, 1939 was the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. And get this on screen. So the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was a secret protocol signed by the Nazis and the Soviets before World War II started. And it's very important even to this day because even the regime in Moscow denies that of its existence. And leading up to 1989, there was many different campaigns that kind of came out there to say, hey, this occurred. The Nazis and the Soviets collaborated prior to World War II. And with this, secret protocol, they divided up the Baltic states, Poland, Finland, and then then what they did is started their war. We had Germany invade Poland a week later, and we had the Soviets invade Finland, and then the Baltic states further. So it's a very important date to understand and just for the public to know what's going on. And in 1989, a phenomenal event occurred. Over several million Estonians, Latvians, Lithuanians, still under Soviet occupation, came together and they formed a massive human chain across borders between Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And so what that was supposed to do is to bring to light the important date, Black Ribbon Day, Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. And so we are celebrating 35 years this Friday with significant with a special guest that was actually there on that side to show us exactly what it was. You know, with technology, with the internet and mobile phones, guess what? 1989, we didn't have that access to spread that information. So it's amazing when you are watching this live stream and then you go into, going back to those days, how did they go about it? How did they communicate to everybody else of what occurred? So Anne, who is going to be joining us?
Thanks, Conrad. For those of you who are part of our Baffle banquet in April, we are honored to have the three Baltic Musketeers back, the chairs of the Foreign Affairs Committees of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. The Lithuanian chair, Zygimantas Pavlonis, is along with his colleague Marko Mikkelsen in Estonia, is also the Foreign Affairs Chair. Richard Kols is still part of the Musketeers, but has moved to the European Parliament, so is joining us today from Strasbourg. I believe that Chairman Pavlonis is in Chicago. We have guests who are spread all around the world, and we're going to be bringing people in this broadcast to speak. I also am very honored that we have former President Vytautas Landsbergis on this broadcast. For those who know, he was a giant of freedom in Lithuania, starting with the founding of the Sąjūdis movement as a peaceful movement that was focused on reestablishing Lithuania's independence. And one part of that effort was uncovering those secret protocols to the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact that you mentioned, Conrad. And having his perspective here today is truly an honor. It is also very important because it shows what the lessons that we have for today. So we're going to have some great questions for the guests about lessons that are going to come from different people in the audience. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for watching and jumping in on today. Wanted to show a video. Ivars, this video that you sent me, the Baltic Way, what should the viewers expect when I show it?
Well, one of the things is that it's most important to remember that, that this was actually, history which has, happened, right now in the world, very current history. And the worst part is, as hackney as it may be, is that, those who refuse to remember the mistakes of the past are bound to repeat them. And so it's very important that right now, especially with the situation in Ukraine, that this is one of the consequences of World War II, which could very much be repeated in 2024.
Yes, I think it's clear that we want to show exactly why we stand up, as the Baltics is the mouse that roared. So let me cue up this video. And while you're watching, greetings from Colorado. Sveiki, my late father worked for VOA Munich IIRC. Thank you for joining us. Everybody else that's watching, go ahead and just comment where you're calling from, because I know we have people that got the invitation. They're from all over the world watching this right now, and just kind of getting you excited for Friday's event. So let me get this queued up in the meantime.
Over 2 million people gathered from all over the Baltics on August 23, 1989, and linked hand to hand to form a human chain from Tallinn, Estonia, to Riga, Latvia, to Vilnius, Lithuania, over nearly 350 miles, like never before, to peacefully demonstrate their demand for independence from the Soviet Union after nearly 50 years of being ground under the Russian boot.
It was an extraordinary show of mass defiance in the Baltic region of the Soviet Union, a human chain of protests that reached across the three Baltic republics, from Estonia in the north to Lithuania in the south.
August 23rd also marks the 50th anniversary of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. The pact and its secret protocols divided Eastern Europe into spheres of influence and led to the occupation of the Baltic states by Russia in 1940, which lasted for over 50 years. Lithuania restored its independence in 1990, and so did Estonia and Latvia the following year. August 23rd is now an official Remembrance Day in the Baltics, known as the Black Ribbon Day, and in Europe, a remembrance for victims of Stalinism and Nazism. Over 30 years later, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania now strongly stand hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, behind the people of the Republic of Ukraine as they fight to regain their independence and freedom after being illegally attacked and occupied by the Russian Federation. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava. God bless Ukraine. God bless the heroes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful video, Ivars. It was
Thank
excellent.
you.
It was excellent. I think it's we're standing in a marker in time right now for us to take action and to move the grassroots to know that we still are around, we still are standing, and I think us as Baltic American Freedom League, you know, if you wanted to support our efforts to keep the Baltics free independently, because part of the conversation that the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was, you know, spheres of influence, and we hear that conversation still to this day of spheres of influence, and we can't do that anymore. And we have to recognize all independent states have their right to self-determination. So it's still important for us to keep working on it as Baltic Americans, to support every effort possible to keep the Baltic states free from every incursion. And next Friday, August 30th, it's important to also know a date, which is August 30th, 1994. The last Russian left the Baltic states. So it took such a long time for occupiers to leave, even after, you know, recognition of the Baltic states. So we have to push forward to give these states the right to self-determination, not by any sphere of influence out there. If you wanted to support our organization, as a nonprofit organization, we get support from everybody that's watching this video, that's liking it, that's sharing it, and it's going to help us, you know, promote this, you know, broadcast this Friday. having Vytautas Landsbergis there, having the Baltic Musketeers there, and other guests that we're gonna try to confirm and bring to light of all of our efforts. But if you want to support our organization, you can like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share it with everybody that you can. We have also, if you wanted to donate, we are 501c3. You can go onto our website, and let me bring up our website real quick. So you can donate to us. We have an address down below that you can send a donation check. For every $100 that you send, you get a vote as a member of the Baltic American Freedom League. But if you wanted to support our congressional efforts, you go onto the site and you click the call to action button, and you see all of our actions that we are working on that is legislative to Congress. So right now we're working on Baltic defense, and could you tell us what we're working on briefly?
Sure. I think that we're going to learn on Friday the role of the diaspora, the role of the communities in 1989 and the early 1990s. It was truly grassroots outreach to Congress that also put pressure on the White House to form policies that were supportive of the brave actions of the Baltic peoples in 1989 and 1990, when Lithuania was the first of the three to redeclare their independence. Today, the grassroots continues to play a vital role in showing that support for the Baltic countries is still a priority for the United States. So the call to actions that are on the website are updated periodically relating to key legislation on Baltic security. We also have campaigns on Ukraine assistance. We were very active to support the Ukraine supplementals. And we have also been working to increase the membership of the House Baltic Caucus and the Senate Baltic Freedom Caucus. So if you sign on, if you go onto our website, you put your email in, you will get an update of all of these campaigns. And I will tell you that this really does make a difference when you reach out to your member of Congress. I heartily recommend that everyone who can participate as a citizen, as a representative to their representatives in Congress.
And I'm gonna just walk through just real quick because I'm gonna show you it's just that easy, and it's not necessarily citizen, but also if you live here, you have a representation. So you click the take action button, you type in your address, and what our system does is it pulls up who your representatives are, senators and Congress in this case, and then you just type in information. You can add in a personal note.
If you want, you don't have to. It's an option.
Right.
One of the most important things, though, is that we have to remain relevant because, you know, the situation is such that with world affairs as they are, that unfortunately, if we're not speaking up and if we're not talking about, you know, what happened, that, as I mentioned before, you know, that we are always at the risk of once again repeating history. And a very brutal history is what, you know, what the Balts, you know, have gone through.
Exactly. And so click that, send, and now you're going to get an email, and then it makes it easy because now you, as somebody that sends a message, we see who's sending messages to the representative, and then now we can make a phone call and at that point set up a meeting and talk about the Baltic states, the importance of a Baltic and American relationships. And so Anne can do her great congressional work because she's the best out there, and we can get progress on support for the Baltic states. So if you need any assistance with that, reach out to us and we can walk you through that.
Yeah. And every single congressional district can matter. It really does. And don't underestimate that your letters are read by the staff of the congressional offices. Conrad, I also wanted to mention that something that I'm really excited about over the next couple of days, and that is that as part of commemoration of August 23rd, there are going to be events all across the country.
Yes.
So we are going to be highlighting those as well. There is a big event in DC on the same day, on August 23rd at 11 a.m. in Washington, where they'll be linking hands in the U.S. Capitol, in our nation's capital. There are going to be events in Chicago, Philadelphia, San Diego, all across. So if any of you know of these events, type them into the chat button, and we'll try and get the word out.
Yes, and we're going to be posting the links to those events as well. So we want to make sure that you're all attending, and reach out to us because we'll send it to all of our database because we have members of the Baltic American Freedom League in all states. And so if there's something going on in your community, or if you want to start something in your community, reach out to us and we can connect you with the right people. So because at the end of the day, leadership does not wait for anybody. And just because you think that it's just you're alone, you're not. We can help you out in spreading the message of growing our support. So any last words, Anne or Ivars?
The fight, continues, and it's, just very important that it is just important for everybody to speak up and, and to be aware of the situation, and also be able to communicate this, to the members of Congress and Senate.
Absolutely. So everybody, I want to thank you for all for joining us. I want to say we'll see you on Friday, and it's going to be a loaded session, and come out with all your questions and comments and whatever you want us to ask the Baltic Musketeers and Vytautas Landsbergis, and we'll go from that point on. But we'll see you Friday at 12 p.m. California time, and we'll see you then. Thank you all for joining in, and if you're watching it not the live, want to thank you again. All right. Have a good day. Oh, and dropped off for a second.
I'm back.
Any final words?
No, we just look forward to having a really great crowd. We have an amazing set of speakers, and this is history. This is a history for our Baltic communities. This is a history for Europe, as Conrad mentioned, and a tremendous opportunity to ask questions of the guests. I'm excited, and thank you, Conrad, for your work in helping set this up.
Doug, I see your comment in here. It says, I try to call my congressmen, senators in D.C. and our local office when I'm feeling lazy or pressed for time. My text would be awesome, resist bot chat. I'm not sure what that is, but you can feel free to use our website because, not only do you have your message being sent to your representative, but you also have Baltic American Freedom League's backing of us to reach out to your representative. And we're here to spread the message of protecting the Baltics. So we all want to work together possible, and with every organization that's a Baltic organization in the United States, we can all work together and create the largest Baltic chain across America if we all work together. So thank you for your comment, and just wanted to say thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you on Friday, and have a wonderful day. All right.